Missile 6 o'clock high.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Missile 3 o'clock high. Missile 3 o'clock low. Missile 9 o'clock low. Eject. Eject. Left engine fire. Right engine fire. Radar failure. EOS failure. ACS failure.
Hello everyone, this is JDingo or JDingo. Welcome to the channel. This video was created as a basic introduction and welcome to the channel, and for me to get some practice with the tools I'm going to use and see what they look like on YouTube. I'll be doing a more proper intro video later, but this is a good start. DCS World by Eagle Dynamics is the best combat flight simulator in the world for the general public, and is available with one free combat airplane and another just for flying around. It can be very enjoyable even without spending lots of money. However, most of the videos related to DCS assume costly equipment and expensive modules. So my goal for this channel is to focus mainly on things that can be done without a lot of money. This may be because you're just trying it out and don't want to commit a lot of money, or maybe you just don't have a lot of money, or if you live in a country without the best currency exchange rate. To that end, I'm going to focus on what can be done without a HOTAS controller, without virtual reality or track IR, and with only the free or Flaming Cliffs 3 FC-3 aircraft. While a lot can be done with the free Sukhoi 25T Frogfoot aircraft, and I'll feature it some, getting the FC-3 package is a very worthwhile investment if and when you can afford it. You will also likely need some form of joystick to fly missions under combat stress, although you can learn to fly without one. If you're going to fly in DCS for low costs, you'll likely not have track IR, and so your ability to look around, zoom in and out, and your general situational awareness will be lower. I suggest using the in-simulation helps for this. For example, dots for the other planes, and external views, and even the F10 map view, especially early on. Also, pausing the simulation to get situational awareness is a perfectly valid substitute for expensive equipment, especially early on, and will greatly improve your enjoyment. Even so, you'll likely get shot down a lot. So maybe it's fitting to have my intro video be an example of losing situational awareness and getting shot down as a result. In general, I'll use in-cockpit and external views, as well as TAC view for the channel videos. Due to this somewhat lengthy intro though, I'm going to skip the external view run-through for this particular video. So let's get to it, and again, welcome to the channel. So here we are, starting out in TAC view, and everyone should get TAC view. If you don't have it, the free version is wonderful. Even after the trial period runs out for the more advanced features, the free version is very nice, and everything I do will be with the free version. But here we're starting out in a MiG-29S, and we'll be facing two F-4E Phantoms. We're starting out at about 35 nautical miles apart. And so we're going to hit play here, and we'll speed it up just a little bit, 2 or 4 times or something like that, and we're closing in. Now we're going to do a circle as we come in here, and the circle is because, I'm going to pause here for a second. The circle is because if you fly straight in at an AI opponent, sometimes they don't actually notice that you're a threat until you actually move, and you can, when you're in a beyond visual range or BVR engagement, you can just shoot them down and they won't even notice that you've attacked them, and so that's not very realistic. And so when you move sideways, it causes them to recognize you as a threat, and they can do some sort of maneuvers and setup. And in addition to that, it causes you to be able to, as you come around in the circle, have to locate them with either radar or electro-optical or something like that, and so it's a more realistic engagement. So that's why there's this circle here that I'm doing at the beginning. But as we do the circle, they get into formation, and in this particular case, like I said, I got shot down, and so the idea, part of that is because the wingman ends up way behind, like about 5 miles behind the lead, and I didn't necessarily notice that as I was doing it. But now we come around and we're basically re-engaging on them, and I pick them up on radar and lock them into TWS2 mode so that I can shoot 2 R-77s at the same time at them. But I want to get them in kill range before I do that. And so they launch a missile at me. This is an AIM-7, which is a radar-seeking missile, and I'm doing a modified F-pole here, and you'll get into that sort of thing later maybe, but it's basically a defensive maneuver to try to get into range. And so I basically pull to the outside, then come back in. As I come in, I'm within range of my missiles, and I launch, as I said, the 2 missiles, one at each of them. And there are R-77s, which are radar-seeking missiles. They're both deploying chaff to trying to turn to avoid them. I dive and deploy chaff myself because I'm not sure that I defeated those missiles. And so they're going to come in, and the flight lead here just barely misses my missile, and I can see him. And I notice he does that, and I chase after him and hit him with a heat-seeking missile and destroy him. And now this is where I make my big mistake, because the wingmen have been defending against my missile, and I hadn't been paying attention to him, that he turned in and came this way. I didn't notice that he was there, and so I'm coming to try to re-engage him and lose him and start going in a circle. Now he defeats my missile and turns on me, and I don't know where he is, and at this point he launches another radar-seeking AIM-7 at me. And the call that I get inside the cockpit is that there's a missile on my launch on my 6. And so I assumed that I lost track of him and he was right behind me. And so I take dramatic evasive maneuvers here and assume that he's right behind me. And I also assumed it was a heat-seeking missile because I thought he was right behind me. Then I get the ping that it's a radar missile. And so I realize that it's not. And now I'm trying to find him again. And as I do that, I come around. I'm looking out the top of my cockpit and I see this other missile launch. And again, I think that he's much closer than he actually is, and so I start reacting immediately, but as I'm doing the reaction, I realize how far away the missile is. And so I then try to turn back in and reestablish it, and I can see the missile, but by this time it's too close for me to really do anything reaction, and so I get hit by the missile and destroyed. And so you'll see that all in the missile. So people who have lots of experience still make mistakes, and you don't usually see them in video. But like I said, I was trying to get some sort of example videos for practicing with the channel, and so why not show you something where I made a mistake? So there you go. Okay, so here we are in cockpit. We're about halfway through our circle. We're going to be coming back in to re-engage with the bandits. We have a widescreen format here, where we have the main screen on the left and the HUD on the right. Let me know what you think of this format in the comments, please. But we're coming around, and we're going to re-engage with the bandits, and we see them. They're both on radar. We've already got our TWS2 selected. And you can see on the radar that they're actually separated by 10 kilometers, or about 5 nautical miles here already, but I didn't notice that necessarily, and TWS2 has picked them up. And we're about to come within range where we can get a launch authorization queue, but that's the long range with the missiles, which are again R-77s, as you can see selected on the HUD. And we want to get within the second little dash there with the range, which is the likely
Launch
kill range.
authorized.
So we're trying to push in closer.
Missile 12 o'clock low.
And because they fired their missiles at me, I'm going to start my F-pole maneuver here, trying to get within that likely kill range. And as we come around, we're going to be within the likely kill range for the lead aircraft, but because the other one is 10 kilometers behind
authorized.
it, it's very unlikely that that missile is going to be a kill, but again, I don't realize that at this point.
Missile 3 o'clock low.
And so I launch my missiles and start
Missile
to dive.
12 o'clock low. Launch authorized.
Come back around, and I see that my missile is going to miss the lead plane too, and that's partially because he was already turned sideways to me as I was launching. So I chase him down
Launch
and
authorized.
hit him with a heat-seeking missile.
Pull up.
As I do that, I turn, and I think the other bandit is further out to my left, but he turned to the right. And so now is where I lose him, and the rest was on the beginning of the video and explained, and so this is what happened.
Missiles 6 o'clock high.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Missile, 3 o'clock high. Missile, 3 o'clock low. Missile, 9 o'clock low. Eject.
So at this point we check our external view to
Left
see how
engine
badly the
fire.
aircraft is damaged. If you had track IR or
Right
something, you can look
engine
around,
fire.
but you can't really do that without track
Radar
IR.
failure.
So it's bad enough we eject.
EOS failure. ACS failure.
And the plane crashes into a building. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much.